In this video, you are going to look at how easy it is to implement Google reCAPTCHA in your Laravel application. So what is Google reCAPTCHA? And I'll just go to this, their page here, how they define it. And they say that reCAPTCHA is a free service from Google that helps you protect websites from spam and abuse. A CAPTCHA is a Turing test to tell human and bots apart. So basically, this is a package that helps you to check if your site is being accessed by automated software or a real human being. So the logic is that if the whatever is trying to submit this form is a bot or automated software, it may not see this, it may not be able to mark this here, right? But a human being will be able to mark that. So this is basically what reCAPTCHA is. So we look at how we can implement it in Laravel, and you can see I have here a register form, and I have the name here, the email, and then the password here. So somebody can enter the name, and then here they'll enter the email, and then here they'll enter, they can enter the password, and they have to do this. They have to mark here, to mark here, I am not a robot. They have to mark this checkbox. Otherwise, it's going to return an error. Okay, so let's just test this form. If we click on this button here, you find that this field is required, this required, this required. So you find that that is validation. And if you have all these fields, and then like the password, and you try to submit, you can see Google reCAPTCHA is still required here. So somebody has to mark here, right? So let's see how you can implement that in your Laravel application. And I'll just close this project here. And here I have a brand new Laravel project. And if we just move inside this project and serve, and by doing PHP artisan serve and try to open that project, you can see this is the Laravel A welcome page. So this is a brand new Laravel project, and there is a package we'll use, and we'll have to install that package in our Laravel project. Okay, so that package is this one here. It's called no-captcha, and I'm going to leave the link in the description of this video so you can check that. And I'm also going to leave the links to Google reCAPTCHA. So the first thing you have to do is to go to Google reCAPTCHA here, and you are going to register your site. So if you are on localhost, you can just call, this is just the name, okay? So you can just call it localhost. And then here you can check the reCAPTCHA version that you want to use. And in my case, I'm using reCAPTCHA version 2. So you can mark this. If you want to integrate on Android, you'll have to check this, okay? And then you can, if you want it to be invisible, you can also use this. But in my case, I'm going to use this, okay? This one here, so that it will be displaying that box so that somebody can check. So after marking this, here you want to enter your domain. So if you are testing it on localhost, just enter 127.0.0.1 because this is the localhost. And then after that, if you want to send alerts to owners, okay, if you want to receive alerts, just in case there's an issue, you can mark this box, and you have also to accept the reCAPTCHA terms, okay? And after that, you click on submit. So I have localhost already registered. Let me just change to localhost 2 and click on submit. And you see here I'm given the site key, and I'm also given the secret key here. So this is the site key and this is the secret key. All right. So these are very important. We are going to use them. So we'll go back to this one here, the package that you want to use, and first we have to install it in our project. So this is the command that we use. So we just copy this and go to our project. We are going to open the terminal here and then just install it. So as it installs, let us do some customization on our project. So we'll just open the project using VS Code or the editor that you are using, and then we will go to home page. So that is welcome.blade.php, and you are going just to clean this code, or you can just clean from here the code in the body, and you can also remove the stylings. Okay, I think that's okay. So let's just do that, but these styles, let's just remove them. Let's just delete the styles, and what you want to do is to integrate Bootstrap. Okay, so just go to Bootstrap CDN, just search Bootstrap CDN, and you have this. So just copy that, and then we'll click here and create link. We just link it there, and this one here we'll change it to that, and you'll go back and get the JavaScript and navigate to the body. Just here we'll just create script. Okay, so here we'll have a form. So just create a container with the class of container, a div with the class of container, and in here we'll create a row, a div with the class of row, and in here we'll create our form. So the form is going to be call. I'm going to give that div a class of call md4, and then a class of offset md4, I mean. So this is going to be a centered div, right? And now here our form goes here, so we'll just do h3, and we call it register form. That's that. So if we save that and go back to application and refresh, you can see you have register form right here, and our form is going down here. So we'll go ahead and search for Bootstrap form, and I'm just like copying this, but you can just get a new. I have this. There's a plugin that helps me display code like this, but then you can just click here, and then you get the code like this one, and you customize it. So I'll go back to the code, and right here I'll paste that form code and save it. So there are a few customization. For example, I'll copy this form group, paste here, and then we'll just change this to name, and then I don't need these attributes, so I'm just going to remove them, and I don't need this one too. So this one will remain email, but I remove these attributes. Okay, and this one I'll also remove it, but I have to add an attribute of name. So name, this one is going to be name, and right here name is going to be email, and this one is going to be password. So I'll just remove these attributes here and give it an attribute of name is equals to password, right? And I don't need this, so I'll just remove it, and I remain the submit button there. So that's it. If we save that and go back to our project now, you can see we have our form right here. Okay, so let me just add a break here. Yeah, so this is our form. Now I hope the package has installed. Okay, the package has already installed. So what we want to do is to go to the documentation, just this GitHub repository. We have documentation here. So if you are using Laravel 5 and below, Okay, it is I think 5.4 and below. You can see this Laravel 5.5 supports what we call package discovery. So it will automatically discover the packages that you've installed. But this is not supported in Laravel 5.4 and below. So if you're using Laravel 5.4 and below, you'll have to configure this. So you'll go to the app/config/app.php and add this class to the providers, and then we'll add this to alias. Okay, and then you'll have to do PHP artisan publish. But since they are using Laravel 8, there's auto discovery. Okay, so let's just move to configuration. So you want to copy this, or you can name it anything you want. Just copy that and go to your project and look for .env file, and we are going to add down here. Now I prefer that we start with the site key and then the secret. Now, as you can see, when we were doing the reCAPTCHA, we got the site key and we got the secret. So what you want to do is to copy that, go back to your project and paste this one under site key. There's the site key. Go back and get the site secret, and you'll come here and paste it there. Okay, so that's it. That's it for configuration, and now we'll look at how you can include it. So there are two things. If we continue looking at the documentation, you scroll down, and the first thing you have to initialize render.js. So just copy this, and you are going to go to the project, and welcome.blade.php will go down here and paste it. So this initializes the JavaScript that renders that button you saw. Check with checkbox. All right, and then after that, for us to display the captcha, we'll just use this. So there are few options here. You can get this. You can, if you want to change the theme, you can change the theme here. You can use the dark theme here, and you have other settings here if you want. All right, so let's just go back to our form, and we'll just place it here and save it. So if we save that and go back to our project and refresh, you see it has been rendered here, right? So you can click there, it has been rendered there, right? So there is communication between the key. It is communicating with the Google reCAPTCHA. That is why you can see we are able to mark it here, right? So what you want to do, if we try to submit it without marking this, it is going to go through. So what you want to do is to make sure that this one is required. And for you to make sure that that is required, in your controller, the controller that deals with processing this form, you have to do validation. Okay, so you have to do validation from the backend. So just go ahead and create a controller, PHP artisan make controller, and that controller will call it user controller. And then after that, we'll just open that controller, user controller, and we'll create a method called register. So this is the method that's going to deal with the registering the information that comes from that form. So we have to include request object as request there, and then here we have to validate. So I'll just do request validate, and then you have to pass there the array of the validation rules. So for example, name should be required, and then email required, and then after that password should be required. So after that, you'll just save that. And now here Google, we have not done anything related to this. So what you want to do is to go back to the documentation here, and there is here on the validator, you have to add this reCAPTCHA response, this one, and set it to required and captcha. So just copy this, and then after that we'll go back to our validator here and add that. So just add Google reCAPTCHA response required, and that is it. Okay, so I think that is it, or you can use this if you want, but then we have to display those errors. Okay, so this is how to display the errors, but I think there's a simpler way we can do that in Laravel. So what you want to do is to go back to the welcome page, and here we'll just add, let me copy this. You can just add span, but I'll just copy this. Just copy this span here, and then we'll go back to our form and paste it there. And so this one, I'll just change this. I'll cut this, and then here I'll use this at error. So the name of the field, okay, that should be Google reCAPTCHA response there, and then here just end error. And now here is where we'll echo our message, right? So here we echo our message. So just that, but then now this one is not going to be here. This one is going to be after this reCAPTCHA here. So just paste it there. And then let's just add break tag here. And this validation is going to apply on all the fields. So we'll start with the name here. Okay, so we'll change this to name. Just the rules that we set in the backend. Okay, so this one is going to be email, and here this is going to be password. And after that, this form will have to create a route that's going to be submitted to. So we'll just do action is equals to route. We have to create this route. We've not yet created it. So just do route, and we'll just call that route register. Though we've not created it, we'll create it after this. And then you also have to change the method. So you know the form's default method is get, but you have to change it to post. So after that, you just save that, and then we'll go back to web.php, and then we'll create that route. That route is going to be /register, and then instead of this method, you are going to use a controller. So the controller is user controller, and the method is register. And then you have to import this controller up here, otherwise it's going to throw an error. So just do use app http controllers, and then user controller. So that is it. And if you want to save that on the form, to save that information, you just go to, we'll create a form, we'll create a database here, and that database, you can just call it reCAPTCHA or anything you want, and hit on create. It has been created. We'll go back to our .env. The password here, not the database section here, we'll give it the database that you just created, reCAPTCHA. Okay, it is reCAPTCHA like that. But then I just created reCAPTCHA, so I'll just use that. So after that, you'll have to run migration. So PHP artisan migrate. And then we have to finish this. So this, if this validation goes through, we'll import user model here. So use app models and then user. And then here we'll just finish by creating the user. So I'll just do user create, and we pass there request all. Request all, and after that we'll just return back, and that is it. So basically that is it. And let's now try our register not found. Okay, we have to name this route. So just to give it a name of register. So we have our form. So let's try to submit and say post is not supported for this. So we'll go back again and change this to post. So try again to submit. Page expired because it did not use CSRF token. So I'll go to the form here and do at CSRF and refresh again and try to submit this time, and you can see now we have the errors there. Okay, but then now if you want to, you can give a class that will style the error so that it can be a warning. So there we just want to give it a class equals to text danger, just to style the errors. So we refresh and then try to submit, and you can see now we have our errors styled in red. Right, so let's try to register somebody. So the name Simon, email, I can use anyone email, and then the password. And then after that, I'm not a robot, and submit. Oh, this one is email. Let's check the type. So this type should be text. So refresh again. Then we'll just change that to Simon, that email, and then the password. I'm not a robot, and try to submit. And you can see it returned back here, meaning that the registration went through successfully. And you can check the database users, and you see the user has been registered, but it did not hash the password. So if you are registering users, you know you have to hash the password. Okay, but without that you get the errors. So basically that is it. That is how to integrate Google reCAPTCHA in your Laravel application. And if you liked this video and you like such content, please subscribe to my channel.